Right, it's a quick video for you. What we're going to do is just going to take these carbs off this Yamaha 70. These have been standing with fuel in, so didn't get it running properly last year, and obviously the petrol's congealed now, it's only anyway in the oil. So what we're going to do, take the carbs off, and I'm going to put them in my new ultrasonic cleaner with white vinegar, and we're going to completely strip them down, the emulsion tubes, and try and get them running right. Anyway, so what we've done, we've taken the can off, obviously you can see that. We've taken the oil tank off for the auto lube. There's 3 10mm bolts around there, that just lifted out the way. Undone the choke, and that's just 2 fillet screws on top, pulled that off. And then we've got long 10mm bolts going through the plate there, fixing all the 3 carbs on. So just getting to the last 2 now. I'm going to take these off, strip the carbs down, and then I'll take it inside then and put it in cleaner. So I'll come back to you and I'll take a picture when I'm stripping them down, or once they're stripped down, see if it's any clogged jets or dirty jets in there. Right, I've got one of the carbs stripped down now. This is actually the top one. What I did, I scratched a T in the top there, just so the carb just under my finger. Middle one you can't mistake, but the top and the bottom one, I just want to put them back as they come off. So I did actually scratch them in so I know which is which. But I stripped the carb down and took the emulsion tubes out and the rubber gaskets out and the air screw out. So I'm going to stick them in the cleaner. There's the top of the carb. So there's a bit of instant gasket on there, which we'll see if that's going to get off. There's the emulsion tube. It's not brilliant on my skin with the petrol on it, but yeah, it's not brilliant, but it's that'll go in the cleaner, and also the main jet that'll go and be cleaned up. There's a bit of crap in the bottom, you can see that was in the bottom of the float bowl, and it's probably in the jets and that as well. And by the drain, there's bits of crud in there, so that'll go in there. On the bottom carb, which is here, which is quite strange actually, the float bowl, I noticed, when I put them all back in, I believe that when you hold the carb up, these haven't got like a spring in the actual float pin. It should sit horizontal at the top of the float to that, or parallel to that carb base. And this one was kicking up in the air, so this one was probably starved of fuel, which might have made it splutter and that. But what I've noticed is that on the main jet, if it'll focus, there's no slot in the I managed to get the pilot jet out, that was blocked, but yeah, there's no slot in the actual main jet. Whether someone's been in there before and rounded it off, I don't know. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get a little thin cutting disc in the grinder, try and cut a slot in there, and then I can get a turn on it. And let me just show you, there's the pilot jet. Put it on there, it'll focus. Where is it? There. Yeah, so there's the pilot jet, and that is blocked up, so can't see no light through it. So yeah, that is actually blocked up. So I could poke something down there, thin bit of wire, a wire brush, or, but what I'll do, I'll put that in the parts, what the ultrasonic cleaner, and then I'll clean it all out before I reassemble it. I'll clean it out, but I'm going to do that now anyway. I'm going to see if I can cut a slot in there with the grinder. I'm going to put the camera down for that, and then if I can undo it, I'll come back to you and I'll show you what I've done. Right, what I've done, I cut a slot in it. Come here, and I managed to get a turn on it. Not my fingers, obviously, with a screwdriver, and managed to get it out. So luckily I didn't have to drill it or use an easy out. And if I just clean that up, focus on there, if I just clean that up, get the burrs off it, I should be able to reuse that. Yeah, so I'll clean that up, and I'll get the emulsion tube out of there. I'm just wondering, that's coming out easy, that's good, whether that's blocked up. Yeah, that's looking ugly, that is. So yeah, obviously it's clear through there, but yeah, that's real crappy on there. So hopefully that's one of the reasons why it was running rough, and God knows how long it's not been out for, because obviously there's no slot in there, it wasn't easy to take out. So hopefully that's another problem solved. So yeah, I'll strip the other carb down, I'll put it in the parts washer, and then ultrasonic cleaner. When it comes out, I'll take a picture of it then, and get a quick video, and you'll see the before and after. Right, after a few weeks of having to work, I'm back playing again. So where were we? We was on the Yamaha 70 carburetors, 3 carburetors on the Yamaha outboard, and what I did, I soaked them all in the ultrasonic cleaner with white vinegar, and now I'm going to start the process of reassembling them. So they've all been cleaned off. I took all the O-rings off, and the O-rings and the rubber gaskets, just so they wouldn't get affected by the heat or the white vinegar, just in case it broke anything down. So well, I'm going to start assembling them now. Right, here we are where we left off on the Yamaha 70 3-cylinder auto lube outboard. I stripped the carbs down before, and what I did was I took all the rubber gaskets off and O-rings, and I soaked all the carburetors and all the jets in the ultrasonic cleaner with white vinegar. So all the airways now are all clean, all the emulsion tubes are clean, and the main jets are clean. So what I'm going to do is start reassembling them, and then I won't bore you with the long process, but I'll just get an airline and blow them through as I go along, just to check. And I've got a bit of carb cleaner as well, but as I say, they all should be clean now. So I'm going to start reassembling them. Tongue out my mouth. Start reassembling them, and then I'll put them on the outboard, and then hopefully we'll try and fire up. Right, I've got the bottom half of the carbs rebuilt now, and I've remembered to put the rubber inserts back where the idle jets go. So they're all blown out and cleaned out, and I've adjusted the float bowl level as well. What I normally do is, see you've got like a join mark there in the casting of the plastic float. I get that parallel when it's closed and hanging. I get that so it's parallel with the base of the carburetor. So I did that on all 3. It's quite important on outboards. It's pretty important on most things, but outboards, they do respond differently if the float levels are wrong on the carburetors. So that's done, and just make sure as well on the little needle jets, you give them a little rub down with a bit of 1000 gauge sandpaper or 800, just something real fine, just so they move freely in and out and they won't stick, and that they're clean. So I'll come back to you when I've done the top half. Right, 3 carbs rebuilt and all back as it should and set up. Come to an abrupt halt though on the centre carb where we've got the cold start. Right, and here we've got the parts now that's come through for the outboard, and there's the part number if anyone's interested. I got the parts off eBay. This gasket is for the prime start, they call it, or like the choke start or cold start for Yamaha outboard, and it's quite common that they go. I think that one was £18 I managed to get it for, and this gasket was £9. I managed to pull the other ones off okay, there's no splits or tears in them, so I got it just as a spare basically. But I'll show you the old one. Where is it? Here. Right, that's the old gasket, and as I say, it's quite a sort of brittle plastic. It's actually like for a diaphragm, but that's obviously perished and split. So I think I've had this running trouble for quite a time, and apparently where it goes on for the cold start, you've got your main fuel line going in there, and it'll go directly through from the vacuum, so you've got a vacuum that's pulsing it, and that will make the diaphragm work. And as I say, it's not the main fuel pump diaphragm, it works the same off the vacuum, and with that split, that's probably sucking raw fuel straight into the combustion chamber, which will make it run real doggy. And I think that's been a problem why it's been, you know, not starting very well and just running real rough. So I'll insert that. You don't really need to see me watch you do it, but I'll insert that, self-explanatory, and then I'll get the carbs back together, and then I'm going to stick them on the boat. Right, you can see with the shadow there, but there's the 3 carbs bolted all back on now onto the engine. And you have to remember, make sure you put all your vacuum pipes on, your fuel pipes on, and your oil pipe should be on the inlet manifold. Also connect up the oil pipe, which is round the back. The oil pump, sorry, the rod for the oil pump. It should be set for wide open, but just in case, make sure that you connect it back up again. And make sure you got some of the like the spring clips on the hoses. Make sure that they're not fouling up none of the carbs, or they rotate round and they get in between the carb and the base of the reed valve body. So what I had to do, I had a bit of problem with this one. I had to grind out the bolt it seized in there, because like stainless and alley sort of corrodes a little bit. So I had to draw that out and then retap it, put another screw in there. But make sure all these butterflies are loose, so when you connect the rod on, loosen all these off, or 2 of them off, and make sure that the butterflies are fully shut, and then just lock them open a bit when you tighten them up so they don't spin round. Otherwise that can make a boat run real lumpy if one carbs are not in sync, if one's opening further than the other. Right, so bolt the oil tank back up, and another little tip there, see that's your cold prime start. And so many people ask which is the normal position. That is the normal position. There is when that toggle is pointing up, it flicks round to open if for some reason it's not working automatically, and then it goes to close. What you do, that lever there, that bottom one denotes the position. So at the bottom you've got closed, that is pointing on open, you've got on the casket open written there, and then straight up is automatic. That's where it should be set all times, like when normal running. Right, I'm just going to connect a few more things up, and then I'll try and get it started. Alright, I've got a temporary fuel tank rigged up. I had to redo the line because it perished a bit, but just pumping the fuel up now, and it's filled up the filter, and hopefully it's just filling up the carbs. Let's get a few more pumps. Oh, that's not good, it's overflowing on that one. I'm going to try and start it anyway, so here goes.